It's going.
All right. This is detail notes and video notes from Mrs. Morton, low 1626. Thing about this room is they had a small fire, and so there's a little bit of soot damage and stuff right here above the stove area. Good news is that this is unpainted popcorn ceiling. So we talked about it today. I think they're probably going to take that down. They're not going to replace it with popcorn, especially if we're going to go to the ceiling with our moldings. They're going to go ahead probably and scrape it and paint it. Since it's never been painted, it'll be really easy to take it down and do that. If it had been painted, it would be a big deal because they had to sand it down. But with the popcorn unpainted, they should be good. Now let's start over here on this side of the room. Basically, you got your wall cabinets. You got a small section of tile under here. The tile work is going to be removed by others, not us. I didn't ask you, is the tear out going to be something we do, or is that something Lowe's?
Somebody else is going to
Somebody
do
else is going to do the tear out,
Right.
so they're going to tear out the tile and repair the walls for new tile or paint or whatever. So the measurements I've given you from that wall to the edge of this door, this window trim to trim measurements here, and then I added 3/8 of an inch for the face of the tile there, so you've got the corrected measurement here from the corner to the edge of the trim there. Under here, we've got a dust board. We've also got a regular valance across the front. You got your light hanging from it, but in your design, there's nothing here above the window. So we're going to have a wire that's coming out of the wall right there. When the tear out is done, you're going to want to have someone take care of that wire. Either they're going to go and put it in the ceiling, put a box in it,
Right.
or they're going to hang a wall sconce on the wall. But something will have to happen on the electrical for that light, okay? Underneath the sink, basically, all the cabinets and stuff are intact. I don't see any signs of damage from water or anything. I am seeing that there are valves up through the floor on that. So you got a copper pipe on both sides, so straight valves. And then I have one PVC 1.5 inch coming out of the wall. So we always recommend plumbing upgrade. We always recommend replacing your valves because they've been 30 years sitting in chlorine water. They probably won't hold anyway when you try to turn them off. So just put that as part of your budget that the valves need to be replaced. Whoever does the tear out will be doing the valve replacement as well, because that's part, you got to turn the water off to tear it out, okay? Good news on this corner, the flooring's being replaced, so we do not have this issue. See how the custom cabinet was built with an angle to the inset? Well, that's because there is no end panel in here. This has no return. Basically, this countertop with a rolled edge runs right in past the side of the stove, and it leaves a big old space in here that you can lose like a knife or spoon or something down into. So with the new design, we were looking at turning the corner, minimum 27, turning the corner. But we got to be careful. Again, this goes back to that blind corner base, or if you're doing a Lazy Susan, it wouldn't matter. But you see right here, she always has to change the angle of this a little bit to get it to pass these handles and knobs. So very tight right here with it as it is. Right now, from that wall to the edge of the stove is 25.5 inches. We want to make sure that we design this with at least 27. And we also want to make sure that we design it where any drawer that we have doesn't hit the front as it opens and closes. Same thing goes here on the upper. Right now this is 24 inches to the edge of the cabinet. The corner cabinet they're using now is a blind corner that goes back in the corner like that. We've been looking at some of the videos I have on right way cab installation where we have like the corner angle access or the corner double action door, which is the L-shaped one for the access. Since this is right next to the stove, having something angled right here would be kind of overbearing right there next to where you're working, having it right against your face. The L shape is actually a much better layout with a stove this close to the corner. Now, speaking of the stove, the actual plug for the stove is way over here to the left of the stove. It is somewhere around 48 inches out of that corner from the right hand side. So moving the stove to the left as much as 9 or 10 inches is not going to hurt a thing. It's got plenty of room back there for the plug. Again, the flooring is coming up and being replaced after the cabinets are installed, so there's no footprint that we have to deal with. Now the last thing over here to show you, there's a 16-inch cabinet here now. You're going to take part of that cabinet for this corner return, but you also have a 7 inches of space on the other side of the refrigerator that we're going to be able to take that return area and use. One last thing, you got a receptacle back here in the corner. You got another receptacle right here. Right now, you can move the stove about 8 inches without it touching the receptacle. That receptacle right there may actually have to be moved after we get the final design done. We may have to figure out if that receptacle needs to move a little bit, or it might end up being behind the stove. Refrigerator is 36 inches wide, 34 inches deep, 70 inches tall, just a standard opening for a fridge nowadays. We did talk about having the depth of the cabinet above here deeper, but you don't have to use the 3-inch end panel. You can use the 3/4-inch end panel, and we can come real close, if not all the way up to the edge of this trim, to get as much room as we need over there. Again, there's about 7 inches of space here in this design, the original house's design, that this can slide over. The fridge is almost standing there now as it is. Step over that way just a little bit. All of this, which is your free hanging bar space, is being removed. It's not going to be reinstalled this way. You can see it's just on pedestals open in the bottom. That's going to give you plenty of room then from the edge of this to where the refrigerator is. Looks like there's about 4 foot, 46 inches. Plenty of room to walk in and out of the kitchen, okay, or be able to carry stuff in and out. We're looking at maybe doing a small island in the middle that is on rollers or on felt pads. Tina did one for a little lady, Mrs. Brock, a little while back. That's actually something that maybe she's interested in, that she can move up against the wall when she wants to, pull it out in the middle of the room and use whenever she's got guests over or buffet or something like that. Ceiling heights are 96 inches. Everything, again, we talked about being scraped. If you want to go against the ceiling with the molding with a scraped ceiling, that's perfect. There's no problems as far as gapping or caulking or anything like that to be an issue. I think that's pretty much it. If you need me for something else, give me a call at 423-650-1051. Have a great day.